Hey, it's Mark and welcome back to Segue to Reason. Now, any honest reader who's ever read all four Gospels will know that sometimes when describing the same events about the life and teachings of Jesus, that their accounts can somewhat vary. So skeptics jump on these differences, claiming that it makes the Gospel accounts unreliable. But what if I were to tell you that those differences are actually what make the Gospel accounts reliable? Take, for example, the sinking of the Titanic in 1912. Some survivors claim that the Titanic went down in one piece, whereas others that it first broke in two. Now, those are two completely contradictory accounts of the same event. Do we conclude, therefore, that the Titanic never sank? With history, it's perfectly normal for there to be differences in the records of any historical event. And that's why I find the story of J. Warner Wallace so intriguing. He's an American cold case detective who's been featured on various US networks for some of the high-profile cold cases which he's helped solve. Now, he was a staunch atheist for most of his life until that fateful day when his wife decided that she wanted to start attending church. So with an open mind, he decided to apply his cold case detective skills in investigating the claims of Christianity for himself. And what impressed Wallace about the gospel accounts were their differences. Because just like the cold cases which he helps investigate, the gospel accounts are essentially written statements about events which happened 20 to 30 years prior. And of course, there's going to be slight differences in the way certain stories about Jesus were retold. What's more is that when the early church was deciding what would go into the New Testament and what would be excluded, well, they included those differences, certainly showing no sign of a cover-up or a conspiracy there. So all of this impressed Wallace, indicating to him that the gospel accounts were authentic and that maybe he should reconsider his atheism. Now again, the critics claim that the gospel accounts are unreliable because of their differences. So, okay, let's say that there weren't any differences. Do you think that would satisfy the critics? Or do you think they'd simply turn it around and say that the reason why there aren't any differences is because the early church simply covered them all up? Remember, it's almost impossible to please a critic, especially a critic of religion. Now, if you have just 2 more minutes, why not watch my previous video, Jesus and Global Warming, link up above. And hey, why not check out Segue to Reason's new Facebook page, link in the description down below. This is Mark, thanks for watching, and as always, keep searching.